The only thing bad about Arizona in the summertime, you know, it's hotter than fuck. It's like the surface of the sun down here, you know. If I turn my air down, you probably can't hear me. It's like 118 degrees today, and it's supposed to get, Tuesday's supposed to be like 121. It's supposed to be like the third hottest day Arizona has ever seen, you know, allegedly. All Eyes on Me movie review. It comes out, well, allegedly they say it comes out today, Friday, but it came out last night in Phoenix, Arizona. Here on the West Coast, it came out last night. I went and seen it last night on opening night. And in Phoenix, my home city. But anyway, it was a great movie. But I'm not going to give too much away because I don't want to spoil. But there was some bullshit in it, you know what I mean? The real what happened in Tupac's life. The movie wasn't 100% accurate, let me just put it that way. There was some stuff that was off. I mean, other than that, it was a great movie. That one guy, Christopher Wallace, yeah, the other rapper, the guy that played Christopher Wallace in Notorious 2009. I haven't seen Notorious yet. I want to, so I probably will see it. I'll probably download it on Google Play or whatever. But he's in this movie. He plays Notorious again in this movie. Well, as you know, Tupac's mom was a member of the Black Panthers, and there was that Tupac's stepdad, which I don't think Tupac ever met his real father, but Tupac's stepdad, his sister, the stepdad's sister, was also a member of the, I don't know what it was, the Black Liberation something, part of the Black Panther Party. And she was, this is the real story in real life. I'm not making this up. There was a shooting between her and, I think she was with a boyfriend or whatever. Yeah, the stepdad. I guess, and a New Jersey state trooper was shot dead in 1973. And she was convicted. And this is the sister of the stepdad of Tupac. Which her last name is Shakur, too. Anyway, she went to prison for murder, for killing a state trooper, got a life sentence. In 1979, she escaped from the prison in Clinton, New Jersey. And she fled to Cuba, which we don't get along with the Cuba government. We don't have any ties with the Cuba government. So the FBI has put out $1 million award. New Jersey State Police put out $1 million award. She's still at large to this day. She's believed to be in Cuba. She's on the FBI top whatever list of terrorists. Look up the FBI top FBI wanted terrorist, and you'll see a black female on there. That's the sister of Tupac's stepdad. I'm not making this up. Google it yourself. That's a real story. I just want to put that out there. But anyway. Yeah, Tupac, man, I listened to him when I was a teenager. I mean, he was like, I was like 13, almost 14 when he got shot in Las Vegas. He did things different than other rappers, you know. A lot of rappers just wanted to gangster rap and talking about beating up women and killing cops and yada, yada, yada. Tupac was a little different. I mean, he actually rapped he started out poetry. I hope, you know, you probably didn't know that. But he rapped actually from what happened on the streets of where he grew up in Harlem. And then there was that rivalry between him and B.I.G. They used to be good friends, him and Notorious. But Notorious, he grew up in Brooklyn. Tupac grew up in, I think, East Harlem. Tupac was getting big on the East. That made Notorious B.I.G. jealous, so he set up a shooting. Tupac got shot 5 times, survived. Tupac went to prison, and then Notorious came out with that one song, I Shot Ya. And he went into details, pretty much admitting to shooting Tupac, which he didn't actually pull the trigger, but he had it set up that way. Some of his thugs or gangsters pulled the trigger. But this East Coast, West Coast rivalry thing, it was very real. I mean, it was like, you know, you hear about the Italian mob and you hear about the Russian mob. But this, you know, these rappers, back in those East Coast versus West Coast rap days, I remember those days like it was yesterday. I was like 13, 14, 15 when that shit was going on. And let me tell you, it was like, sort of like street gangs going at it with each other. Sort of like biker gangs going at it. You know, these gangster rap groups, they were like the mob. They were like the mafia. They had their own mafia groups, you know. They were like the mob. You know, Suge Knight, you know, Suge Knight, man, he's like a fucking mobster. That fucking guy is evil. Him and Dr. Dre are evil. I don't believe Tupac is evil. He's got some dirt on him. Snoop Dogg, he's got some dirt on him. But Suge Knight, he is an evil motherfucker. That's the way Suge Knight is. Suge Knight, he's like a mob boss. I mean, that guy, he's a fucking cold motherfucker. I mean, that's the way Suge Knight is. And he had his, you know, he's like a fucking mob boss. He's like a Tony Soprano. That's the way it is. I mean, these guys, these gang rappers, they're like the mafia. Just like Hollywood. Hollywood's got their own mafia. That's the way it is. But anyway, All Eyes on Me. It was a great movie. But there's some bullshit. And I'm not going to go, I don't want to spoil too much, but they had a little thing of, you know, how Tupac allegedly died. I think he wanted out of the business, and he faked his death. That's what I believe. Because the LAPD was following him. Why was the LAPD tailing him in Las Vegas right after that Mike Tyson fight? You know? Think about this. Enough time to get him out, because they knew what was going to happen. Yeah, the LAPD was, you know, tagging him. In Las Vegas, out of their jurisdiction. What do you think, you know? They had enough money. They're like the mob. They had enough money to pay off the police to say, hey, you know, I want out. This is what I'm going to do. And I believe Suge Knight was in on it. So, I mean, the end of the movie and certain parts in the movie just don't make sense. Talking about Tupac's death. It does not make any sense. There was no autopsy right after he was allegedly murdered. And 6 days in the hospital, that's 6 days to plan everything out. You know, that's enough. You know, that's enough time to plan everything out. Like, how they're going to do things, you know. There was no autopsy. He was cremated immediately. Add this shit up. I believe that he is hiding in the mountains of New Mexico. He wanted out the business. He went back to underground rap because there was another rapper out there called himself different, but sounded just like an older Tupac. And there's this other guy out there that's been showing around like Las Vegas, New Mexico, not Nevada, Las Vegas, New Mexico, and Santa Fe. There's been a black guy around there, you know, grocery shopping or whatever, and people have swore up and down that it looks like an older Tupac. I think he would be like 47 years old by this time. But it looks like what Tupac would look like if he was, you know, in his late 40s. And people swear up and down to this. There's been sightings in New Mexico. I mean, he probably just wants to live in peace, you know. Just like Elvis Presley, allegedly Elvis Presley, he faked his death. I can't be sure about the Elvis Presley thing. A wax body in his funeral or whatever, but you gotta think about these things, you know. But it is what it is. Whether you believe he's alive or dead or not, you know, it's up to you. But I believe he's alive. I believe he's living in New Mexico. But if that's the case, let him live in peace. Retired, whatever. Anyway, All Eyes on Me, great movie. That's my movie review. It was 5-star, you know, whatever. 1 out of 10. I'd probably give it a 9 because, you know, that certain parts were stupid and just straight up bullshit because I know what really happened. So they had to throw, yeah, some stuff in there that just doesn't make sense. But other than that, 1 out of 10, I'll give it a 9. Just because some of the stuff wasn't accurate, but it was a great movie. I seen it last night. Go see it. All Eyes on Me. This is Preaching Rob. That's my movie review, and more videos coming soon.